Hello my loves. Right, I'm doing my nails, but I'm using my non-dominant hand today. So let's get in on prep. Now I've only just removed a set. My polygel ones, I had no problems at all apart from the thumb breaking because I made the sides too thin, so the stress points weren't thick enough, so that was my error. So Madam Glam polygel gets a thumb up from me. Thumbs up. I've got two thumbs. I'm using Ethel as usual to push back the cuticles, release any non-living tissue from the nail plate, but not poking around in the eponychium, not damaging our barrier between us and infection, okay? So very gently, we're just shifting back any non-living tissue that is on the nail plate. Very quick and easy. And I'm just exfoliating here with this nail bit from Nail Dot Supplies, and it literally I go around on a very low setting and just exfoliate around there. Again, I am being very, very careful of where this bit goes. Even though I'm doing it left-handed, I know that my left hand's quite steady. Obviously, I'm using the Valentino Dust collector. Obviously, the only reason I sound nasally today is because we cut the grass yesterday, so my eyes are sticky and my nose is running. So I need to take my hay fever medicine. But yeah, as you know how much I love this dust collector. I haven't had one sinus issue since I got it. And when I looked back at an old video today, and I was like, hello, welcome to my video. So, right, this is the only nail that had a little bit of hanging tissue. Can you see that? I am not cutting away eponychium. I am not damaging the barrier between us and infection, okay? And I didn't nip anything else off any other nail. This is what you need to be careful with. You need to really know what you're nipping. Know your nips. These are the Helen nippers from Navy Pro. I checked, look, nothing. And I'm not going to poke around and create tissue to lift when there is none necessary. So, is none necessary? I'm so sorry. I've only had 2 coffees. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. Right. I've applied tips. These are the Glitter Planet Pro Pinch Square tips, but I've reshaped them because they're too wide for me. And then I'm just popping a clear layer on each nail, pressing it down there and just feathering it right down the nail. This is to protect your nail plate from A, staining from coloured acrylics, and B, if you're gonna redesign, you need something to file back to as well. Also, if you mix systems, you need your base layer and your top layer to be from the same system, okay? What you put in between is up to you. I should let you all know, I have officially passed my teaching certification. Yes, I know. So excited. I'm just waiting for my certificate. They better hurry up and make it really special. So I'm going to be doing group courses up and down the UK, one-to-ones, and also I will have another announcement very soon. I'm going to hold off. I'm zipping it. Right, back to the acrylic. I'm going in with Storm from Diamond Nail Supplies. Obviously I prepped and primed before I applied any acrylic to my nails. I'm going to do an ombre nail, so I'm feathering this, so that's why I've applied it at the tip first. And then feather it back. I always prefer to apply the darker colour first. Blend that back. And then what I like to do, see how thin we're keeping that nail? Because you've got a good system that's nice and pigmented. What I like to do is then leave it to set up before I apply the second colour. Now obviously I work a little bit more fluidly with my dominant hand, so things are a little bit cack-handed because I'm doing it with my non-dominant hand, but the same principle applies. We're placing the bead on, we're tucking it to the tip of the nail, and then blending it or feathering it towards the cuticle. You're leaving the bulk of the product towards the tip and just feathering the top almost. Light touches will do it, you don't need to put too much pressure on. Keep your side walls and your free edge nice and neat, that limits your filing at the end. And then I'm just applying one little wet bead just to kind of even out and intensify the colour further down. I'll blend it back so there's no harsh line. Now, I went in too wet with this bead. I want to show you what I did wrong. Can you see the bead starting to splurge out? I was too wet with this white. That's my own error. I'm picking up with my non-dominant hand, so it's harder to judge it. I've got good muscle memory with my right hand. I just pick up, you know, and I know. So this was a bit tricky. White is difficult to work with anyway. Most whites are quite sticky. This isn't too bad. It's more that I picked up a big, fat, wet bead, and I should have just got a small, medium bead. But again, non-dominant hand. I'm pulling that skin back, can you see? To get this nice and close, and I've used a drier bead this time. I bled the bead out a little bit. And I'm just going to tuck that away from the skin. Just to get in that little corner. And then I'm going to go in with another bead, this time a better consistency. Tuck that up to the cuticle, and then feather it down the nail. I'm hoping I'm going to get some different angles. My friend Lisa's asked me to get some different angles of how I do my cuticle work. I'd rather do that with my dominant hand so you can see more clearly. Okay, I've used these little flakes. I think they're from CJP, but I've had them, I don't know, a couple of years. And I wanted to give like an opaly effect to the background. Any flakes will do. They're really pretty. I got a big bag full of flakes yesterday sent to me, I think from Beauty Big Bang. Didn't know I was getting that. They've got my address, so I guess they just send me whatever, but yeah. So if you want me to show you those. Again, I've made the mistake on this nail. I went in with a humongous bead with my non-dominant hand because, you know, I'm really clever. And I overwhelmed myself with product. And where I'm slower with my left hand, and a bit clumsier, I just made life difficult for myself, really. So if you're using your non-dominant hand, I'd recommend, especially if you've got pre-pinched tips, just working in smaller beads, because I had to sort out a right old mess on that nail. Right, we're doing an ombre here, so again, replacing it at the tip. I've got tiny nails. This brush is a size 10. Look how huge it is compared to my nails. They're so small. Right, we'll feather this back towards the cuticle. Paying attention to the sides there, you see? Nice and slowly. It's not a race. Get your technique in, then worry about your time. I know that I've said that recently, and I've heard Tracy from Young Nails say the same thing. Technique, then time. Do not stress. Your timing naturally just picks up the more you do. And I think it's not right for other techs to make anyone feel inadequate about their timing, because I'll quite happily take as long as it takes if the nails are coming out beautiful. I don't care. And I know a lot of artists with the same attitude, so don't stress. Right, now, I picked up the wrong colour to do this ombre on this thumb. I picked up a colour that hates to be ombreed. It's called Tutu. It's the most beautiful pink from Diamond Nail Supplies. However, it just doesn't like to be ombreed. It doesn't blend as easily. Some colours don't, and this is the only one so far I've come across that doesn't like to be ombreed. But my God, it's such a beautiful shade. It really is pretty. So what I did was, I did the ombre as best as I could, and then I went in with the opal flakes over the top. And then on the other nails, I just used my own nail bed powder that I've mixed. Just doesn't create as soft a line as I would like, that's all. A little bit more tricky to work with on ombres. So I did what I could, and then I added the flakes. And actually, it's a beautiful nail. It's come out stunning, so no stress. See how thin the nail still is? We haven't got too much product on there, so there's plenty of room for play. And I'm just getting these flakes and I'm doing them in a backwards S, because that's all I seem to do is backwards S's. And because they're flakes, they sort of go straight to the nails, but if the nail's wet, and they just stick dead flat, like lush. Now this is the mix I've made. This is a mixture of two Diamond Nail Supplies colours. This is Stripped and Bare. Stripped is very pink and Bare is very soft pink. So I wanted something in between the two. and I added some pigment to it to make it shimmer. I have begged Jade to create this colour for you guys. She has said when she mixes it, she's going to mix a test batch. If it is not too different, if it is too closely coloured to the others, she won't release it because there's no point. But if it's enough of an individual shade, then she will release it. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed. But I love this mix. I friggin' love it. It's smooth like butter. It's got a shimmer to it. It's a soft pink. Oh my God. Stripped and bare. So if you can't get it as a colour, just get them yourself. I just literally mixed equal parts of both. And then added some of the Glitterarty grey fairy chrome to it to make it shimmer. Stunning. So I'm placing it on, look, tucking it in, and then just feather it down the nail. So easy. I'm now getting pretty full in May for one-to-ones, so we're looking at June now, June onwards. So if you want to get in for a one-to-one and do specific training on specific areas, let me know. Or if you want me to come to your area and you want to discuss hosting a group, then let me know. So I'm using a decal here from Queen of Decals, which are now available at Glitterarty, which means you can get a discount because I have a code. It's not an ambassador code, it's just a promoter code. I don't make any money from it, but I do kindly get gifted products to try. And these are some of the products. And these decals are stunning. I've just applied a little bit of top coat. Probably should have used base coat because it has a sticky residue. But we'll see how it holds up. If I have any problems, I'll let you know. And I'm just using my Alice tweezers, which I use for bloody everything. These are my Navy Pro Alice tweezers. I use them for just so much. I've always got them out. And I'm using the flat side of them to just tap it down, and then I'm going to let it set in the lamp for 60 seconds. And then I'm going to start capping. So I've picked up a nice generous bead of clear. I've placed it on, tuck it in, and then feather it down and remove the excess from the side. You're not going to need it because I'm working with too much of a bigger bead for my khaki left hand. So we'll work this bead down the nail. I'd rather add more beads than have to try and navigate a big bead with my left hand. I don't know why I do this to myself. Oh, I'll give you a quick update. The fiberglass nails are holding out perfectly. I don't know whether it's because I used the Valentino hard gel, but as extensions, yeah, absolutely fine, no problem, still got them on. So I've placed a bead at the tip there and I'm feathering it into the first bead. Again, not as delicate and neat as it would be with my dominant hand, but you know. Oh, I've got a discount code for the Valentino Dust Collector, and I've got a discount code for Navy Pro Tools. Angel Crystals and Navy Pro Tools I am an ambassador of, but I used their products before I became an ambassador. I want to be transparent. I know a lot of people don't openly sort of discuss things, but I like to. So I am an ambassador, so my codes that I have with those companies do earn me a very tiny commission. But I wouldn't be an ambassador for a company if I didn't absolutely love it, because what's the point? Like, there's no point at all. So with this, I'm building up my structure with the clear because I didn't want to waste that cover powder that I'd mixed because I don't have a lot left. And then we're just going to put a tiny bit at the tip there. I did go out of shot, so I just cut it. Look at that blend though. Oh, it's so lovely. Such a nice ombre, so smooth. I'm really happy with it. Now we're going to encapsulate our thumper nail. These decals are fantastic. They take like 15 seconds in water, stick it on the nail. It gives your clients such an individual look without you having to try and become some fantastic artist. Because let's face it, we're not all artists. I can't draw a stickman properly. The proportions would be out. I can't draw. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to bosh a decal on there and fake it till I make it. They're too easy. They're so good. I've capped the grey nail off camera because I needed it close to my face because it was such a mess because I bodged it up. And now I'm going to cap this lid pink here with a beautiful blend. I'm having to hold my own finger in place because my joints wobble. So I'm sorry you can't get a perfect view on it, but I have to sometimes hold my little finger in place. It's a bit wibbly wobbly. And then I'm just blending it there. Now I've filed and everything and shaped, and we're going to do some crystal work, and I'm including it all. So these amazing balls have one flat side. They're like disco balls. Everything's from Angel Crystals. This sticker is from Ugly Duckling. It's really good for big crystals. Don't be intimidated by bigger looking crystals. These have a flat side, and once you place your big item down, which isn't that big, I've got tiny nails, I'm going to freeze that in the lamp, and then I'm going to go in and work around it. So I've got rose alabaster opals, so beautiful. And we're sitting here with the colours that go with the nails, so soft pink, soft blue and crystal clear, and I think that goes well with the Eastery theme. I've got these tiny air blue crystals. Now these are, they're blue, baby blue, but they have a gold glow. Oh, so beautiful. They're all real Swarovski, obviously. Stunning. I've got a big air blue there, flat back. And then I'm going in with the drops. They're like teardrops. These are clear. Don't be intimidated, and don't assume that if it's not AB, it's not going to shine. Seriously, there are so many colours and shapes. Just play with them. Just have fun. Because I'm telling you, that honestly, once you get going, it's like, oh, I never knew I could do that. I'm going in with a flat back clear kite. I'm using my Alice tweezers again, obviously, because I just use them for everything. And I'm going in with a clear to tuck in there, and the same on the other side, so it's all symmetrical. And then a tiny little clear flat back at the tip there. And that ties the design in beautifully. I'm ever so happy with that. So sparkly. Love it. Right, onto top coat. Diamond Nail Supplies tack-free top shine as always. Super duper shiny. See, I really like how this came out with that like opal pigment, flake pigment. So it was a happy accident. Now on to top coating the ombres. They're just so smooth. I'm really happy with them. I've not used Storm before as a colour, so. And now this beautiful thumper. It's a really cute decal, isn't it? I've got a bunch. I'll do some more. And now, please, when you are top coating, don't get it on the crystals. I don't care if you use cheap rhinestones, they don't sparkle the same, but still, if you top coat over the top of your crystal work, it will look like a chewed up boiled sweet. It won't glisten. See how sparkly these are? Every time you move your hand, the light is refracting off of them. Keep them like that. They will last the entirety of your set until you remove them, and they'll still bloody shine. As always, I will put all my discount codes and everything in the description box. Here's the finished set. I'm hoping you can see the sparkle. Oh, it's so pretty! I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye!